scared. Like straight scared.
Hi, my name is Andreas Gabriel, and I played the part of Seb.
My name is Megan Maley. I play the waitress.
Hi, my name is Darian Slattery. I played Raina. And also I wrote it.
You know, I saw the posting on Facebook, and it looked really interesting. It just spoke to me.
And on there it stated that it was an entirely deaf production company. I was very intrigued by that. That's something that I have never had the opportunity to experience. And just the film itself was very different than anything that I had seen available at the time. So I thought that that would be a really interesting opportunity.
Oh my God, I loved working with all of you.
It was the most communication, the best communication that I have ever experienced on a production team. Just very clear directions and little nuanced things that really made it easier to do my job as an actress.
Any sort of hesitation or feelings I might have had about communication was not a problem, and that is because all of you worked so hard on communicating so clearly and having access to clear communications, like people who interpret it for you and for me so that I can fully understand, and the directing.
I didn't learn sign language until I was 14 years old, but I've been acting since I was 5. That felt like the normal, and the normal was missing a lot. I was never given as loud of a voice as I was given in this production, and so that was really incredible. And to have a deaf team, that communication was clear, there was no disconnect.
All of you tried so hard to accommodate us, really. All of you stepped proudly out of your comfort zones to make sure that we were well taken care of, and wow, that really felt really, really special, and really appreciate that. Thank you.
Sometimes we were the disconnect. With hearing actors, we would try to be like, oh, I know how it feels to miss out on something, so if you're signing, I want to tell them what you're saying, you know? But ensuring that access is difficult. But it was a really amazing experience.
You know, it's funny because Andres and I talked about it, and there were times where the interpreters were not there, and we were still able to have conversations with almost every single member of the crew in some way. We tend to try to like sign in our own way too, you know, just try to do something, and I'm sure it hasn't, you know, it's completely off from what the actual sign is, but you just find yourself trying to accommodate people where they're at, and I think you guys also did that for us, you know, taps on the shoulder is just showing us visuals, writing things out, and so I think that it's funny you find ways to communicate with people regardless of everyone's abilities.
All right, so Nancy's out. Yes, I have another assignment, unfortunately. All of you have a good night.
It was really eye-opening because, like I said, my experience with deaf people had been so limited, and in the beginning, you know, Megan and I were trying to figure out like who can hear a little bit or who's reading lips and who is comfortable talking and how do we approach people, how do we even address people, and that was really important to both of us to be mindful of each individual because everybody has different needs, and we wanted to make sure that those were taken care of.
It's something that as a hearing individual, you don't think about. You know, you think about, oh, you're deaf, you can't hear anything, or you have hearing and you can hear everything. But there's so many different levels to that that you just you aren't aware because it's not in your everyday life. So that was very informational, and I'm really happy I got to experience that and just learn a little bit more about what everyone needed on the set.
So not one specific experience, it was all something that I see myself cherishing for the rest of my life. And that is a really weird thing to be able to say in the moment. Usually you only say that after the fact. But I saw it when it was happening. I was like, oh my God, this is it. Even if, you know, we don't go to Sundance, or even if just to have gotten to do this was what I always dreamt of.
Honestly, the best part I think was just like lunchtimes or when it was getting late and everyone's getting a little punchier, just like the interactions with the crew itself. That to me always makes the best part of a film is the stuff you don't see, the things that are happening behind the scenes. So I think, yeah, just all of that really made for a great experience.
I just loved being with the team. It felt everybody was there to help one another. Whatever the person's job was, everybody just worked so well together to make the story, to tell the story. And I love acting, so that's a given. But being surrounded by all of you, that was an experience that really, I think, like it changed parts of me, honestly. It opened my world.
It's quiet hours in the RITM.